Welcome back. It is Issues at Hand. Peter Kibazo and Honorable Matthias Mpuga. And we are talking the amendments that were on the floor of Parliament that have caused a lot of hula-baloo, a lot of movement here and there. Honorable Mpuga, if you were asked to put your fingers on the most fundamental amendments that have happened today, or that are in process of happening, because ultimately there is one more reading on the floor of Parliament that will close this, what would you say have been the major ones?
Incidentally, why I'll tell you something. I had a personal interest in the amendment of the amendment of Article 82 of the Constitution, as an independent member, to give me freedom to either join a party of my choice or remain independent. But because I construed this entire bill as cosmetic, I voted no to the entire bill. Anybody seeing me would imagine that I didn't know what I want as an individual. But because I fundamentally believe that a constitution is a very, very important document for the governance of this country. It's actually, it explains a contract of the people. The people's contract cannot simply be handled like a small agreement over the sale of chicken. And I had to sacrifice my own personal interest in this amendment. So I'll tell you, to answer your question straight, that for me, this bill or whatever has been done does not offer anybody or this country anything fundamental. It is utterly cosmetic, and I cannot actually believe that anybody would stand and tell the people that we have undertaken major constitutional amendments.
If you are an independent member of Parliament,
Yeah.
or if you are a member of Parliament from DP or UPM or whichever party, and you'd like to cross, today was a milestone.
Yeah, it was a milestone, but I'll tell you, that is not the biggest issue for me, because at the end of the day, you only remain a member of Parliament. This does not represent, this amendment as proposed, does not anywhere arise as one of the major demands from the people. In fact, I browsed through memoranda that came to Parliament from various sections of society. Amending that article was never one of those requests from the public. So if it wasn't one of them, then it can only be secondary, it can only play second fiddle to the critical amendments that people desired, including restoration of term limits, including restructuring the electoral commission, the role of the army in elections, several amendments that people sought that would come. So if none of these was part of the bill, then I'm afraid this bill does not pass my test for anything fundamental.
Viewers, we are going to display our numbers on the set. You are able to join us on the show and talk to us and put your question or comment to Honorable Mpuga. Honorable Mpuga, last week or the week before, one of the debates when this bill came for the earlier reading was on the issue of the party being able to fire its members, and when they are fired, then naturally they would lose their seat in Parliament.
Yep.
The government conceded on that.
It conceded because there are clause 4, if I'm not mistaken, clause 4 of the bill was the judge as being sub judice, because this matter is before court, courtesy of the rebel 4 that were being expelled from the ruling party, because this matter is still before the Supreme Court. The Speaker and our rules has powers to judge whether a matter is sub judice or not. So this matter was judged as sub judice, and the Attorney General representing government withdrew that amendment for the time being.
Viewers, you're able to join us 0717 200 413. 0717 200 413. The other issue of we've had a tug and push in Kampala, particularly on the issue of the land board. And the Attorney General, in presenting this bill, intended to address that issue. It never was on the floor.
Certainly, that matter came up, the amendment of Article 240 of the Constitution, no, and the addition of another article, not the amendment, to create city land boards, because hitherto we did not have city land boards. Kampala, the only city per se, was a district, and there's been a legal battle as to whether the Kampala District Land Board is still a legitimate body to carry out activities of dealing with the land in Kampala. Unfortunately, again, this matter is in court. We had a debate over whether this matter is sub judice, and when we debated it, it came through that actually this was not one of those matters that urgently need to be attended to. After all, Parliament is not aware of any matter of land in Kampala that's not being worked on because of the absence of
So what was urgent? Because from what I hear, practically the bill has been taken back without being debated. Nothing of it was urgent. So what was urgent? The change of name into an independent electoral commission?
Peter, that's why I've been consistent in saying this bill is an empty shell. It's just a shell. In fact, it represents one of the biggest abuses of parliamentary procedure and process and taxpayers' time and money, because it actually presents a missed opportunity and an abused opportunity at the same time. Missed and abused, because we had an opportunity to look at this contract called the Constitution, and the Parliament implied to the public that actually we're going to undertake major constitutional amendments, even through iPod, a forum where the ruling party interacts with the other parties that have representation in Parliament. They even agreed to some major amendments of the Constitution. Memoranda was submitted to the Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, detailing how the citizenry viewed the Constitution and the nature of amendments they sought to be undertaken. We even had the Citizens' Compact launched, if you recollect, detailing the kind of issues, the kind of fundamental changes the citizenry sought on this contract. Unfortunately, when the government sat to consider these amendments, they only picked out cosmetic amendments, and they were not representative of people's views. And this has been one of the major issues and contents of the Minority Report, because the Minority Report picked on these issues that they call it fundamental, as submitted by various memoranda, and the government could not justify the presentation of a shell to Parliament for amendment.
Let me read you this. This is Luther Comestone. Luther Comestone says, Peter, Mpuga is not being realistic. A lot of members of Parliament would want yesterday, the other day, to cross to another party. They were being stopped by the law that said they couldn't cross. Today, they were given the lease of life. So be it. Mpuga and his team failed miserably to convince the other members of Parliament that what they were saying is worth listening to. If indeed the people that Mpuga is talking about have a different will from what the members of Parliament today spoke, let the people punish them. Short of this, those majoritarian members of Parliament speak the language of the people. Stone.
Well, I don't know what Stone knows, and I do not know. First of all, what did the majority speak? The majority spoke nothing. The majority only came to cast a vote. So they did not speak. They did not speak anything because there was nothing to speak about. Because I am telling you, Stone and viewers, that actually the bill is an empty shell. What is it in renaming, for example, the Electoral Commission? That's a cosmetic, it's a exercise, and I wouldn't want to relate myself to that kind of exercise. I said very clearly that I had an interest in the amendment of Article 82 because as an independent member, I would very much love to go back to my party, the Democratic Party. But then weighing the option of selfishly pursuing my interest of going to the DP versus the fundamental need to have, for example, the Electoral Commission reconstituted, I would take the second option because
let me take this caller. He's been waiting a while. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, good evening.
I thank you for the time, sir. This is the first in this with the National Council.
I'm sorry, your line is really, really bad.
Get him.
If you can do a second shot at the call, 0717 200 413 200 413 717, you'll be able to come through. Honorable Mpuga, yes, you said that the majority didn't speak, but the Stone raises something fundamental. He says that if these people are not speaking the same language as the voters, they should be worried the voters will punish them. Let me attempt this one. Hello? Oh, I just ended it. Yes.
For Stone, it's the reason why I was in hot pursuit of reconstituting the Electoral Commission to allow the voters to punish these members. But without having that amendment, then the voters have no chance because I know for a fact that the process that delivered some members of parliament was fraudulent. And I would rather have it done differently. Then we see who will come back.
Hello? Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Mpuga and the colleague.
Good evening.
I'm calling from Karen.
Yes.
I'm Silver.
Mm.
I pity that young gentleman, Mr. Mpuga, for during this parliament, which has been done in 2 years in stock. He's a very black parliament. Thank you very much.
I didn't pick him right.
Okay, I missed quite a bit of what you said, but you feel sorry for Mr. Mpuga for serving in this particular parliament. He should pick his money and go home. Well, is that what parliament has been reduced to?
Well, I don't know whether it is desperation on our friend calling, whether he's actually given up. I want to assure him that I have a legitimate duty in and outside Parliament to ensure that Uganda becomes a democracy. You can realize the despondence.
Do you have a chance at that?
Certainly. Uganda...
You've lost the shot on making the elections worth the while.
Peter, I'll tell you and viewers that I'm not in the category of people that will give up on making elections in this country count, because I know that the only way I can deliver democracy to my children and grandchildren is ensuring that...
Hold on. Hello? Hello? Good evening to you.
I have a simple comment and a question to be asked.
Yes, go right ahead.
My contribution is a share of what is to the Ugandan Parliament today. If this is how we are going, I think we're taking this country out. Now, my question to the is, after changing in the party to elect the chairperson to the president or chairman of parliament is going to be a favor. Thank you.
Okay, he questions the process of nomination of the Electoral Commission. What is in the law now? What have you passed? And how does it come to pass? And then I have an additional question. Honorable Mpuga and your colleagues have been going around the country, you've talked to people, and you've arrived at a position that either you have constitutional amendments that deliver electoral reforms or nothing. What is the nothing now?
Now, certainly, I'll tell you, Peter and viewers, that for his very legitimate question, while apparently today the president has a free hand in choosing whoever he wishes to be part of the electoral management process, the citizenry had proposed differently, and even the opposition, we had proposed that the manner of choosing electoral commissioners be amended to have it done by the Judicial Service Commission through an open, transparent process, just as it's done in neighboring Kenya and other democracies. But of course, the bill as presented by government is not even a departure from what has been done before. What actually is changing is that perhaps different names will be brought. But the manner in which the commission is constituted remains more or less the same.
What do you mean different names will be brought?
I'm just saying that nothing changed. You know, the amendment, the proposals by the government does not offer anything different from what is being done. If you are going to count 10 sticks and you say start with the 10th, it deliver the same 10 sticks, would you have changed the number? Nothing changed. You know, the same process, and can only give you the same results. The proposals that were made by the citizens through their compact and those made by the opposition were thrown in the basket.
Let's get to the second subject of that. Do you subject yourself to an election conducted by this process, therefore?
Peter, this is not a question I can answer alone, because we discuss, we say to ourselves as the opposition and the partners that let's go through this process in Parliament. Where it ends, we shall tell the country what next. I wouldn't give a conclusive answer on this program.
Give me your gut.
My gut is that building a democracy will require us to make some sacrifices, including pushing the dictator into his legitimate corner, escorting the dictator to his door. Because one of the things any dictator would love to have is a free reign. If you boycott, you are actually telling them you can have a field day. I would go for a boycott if I have an alternative that will keep me pushing the dictator. I wouldn't go for a boycott to go to bed and sleep.
Hello?
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 Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, if you wait to listen to yourself the other side of the set, there will be a delay, and in between you and I will be unable to hear each other. 0717 200 413. I'll try two of those. Hello? Okay, that's a dropped one. Honorable Mpuga, tell me, do you expect an election that would deliver a result, whether in Masaka municipality, whether in Kampala, whether in Uganda at all?
Without fundamental amendment to...
You don't have the amendments.
I'm saying without fundamental amendment, I'm afraid no.
So why do you subject us to such an election?
Would you offer us an alternative?
You've been talking to Ugandans. You've been telling them that, wait a minute, this election won't be worth any salt.
Peter, let me tell you, I have talked to Ugandans almost in every corner. I've been to the countryside, in the trenches to speak and pick up the issues with the population. I'll tell you something. The population is ready for change. And I'll tell you, whichever the circumstances, we shall try to make sure that we invite the population to participate in an exercise, electoral or otherwise, that will deliver change. I hope I'm understood. I'll go out of my way to invite and entice the population to participate in an any exercise, legitimate exercise, electoral or otherwise, that will deliver regime change. Because I know that the population is ripe and ready and is demanding for change. Actually, it is desperate for change.
Right, viewers, I'll take a break. Of course, I would like to engage and interrogate that otherwise, and I'll take the break.